On today's show, a gap year for the Dallas Mavericks. Kyrie Irving says to hold on. He may not play next season. What does that mean for the Mavs and more? We'll talk about that on today's Locked On Mavs. Stop it! Stop! The number one pick will go to the Dallas Mavericks. Cooper Flagg will fly in Dallas.
Dogs, all of us, all five.
You are Locked On Mavs. Great, your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast.
No one's dying.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Still can't leave.
Your team every day.
I'm going to get a city like that.
And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Dallas Mavericks for 10 years. Thanks for being every day or making Locked On Mavs your first listen each and every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. And joining me from the great Slightly Biased YouTube channel, the postgame prodigy. What you got for me, Slightly Biased?
Think about all the people in Kerr County. Just nightmare scenario during the holiday weekend. So, got some prayers. Insane what went on there.
Absolutely brutal. And you just keep seeing more stories. I saw our team at WFAA post stories about people from DFW. Their kids were killed in that tragedy, and like grandparents that are lost, like they're still missing at the time of posting that. And just like, I cannot imagine. So if you're not up on the news, there was a flood that happened, and there was like a kids Camp Mystic, where just a bunch of kids just died because it happened in the middle of the night, and they were like right in the path of it, and it's just absolutely brutal. It's down near San Antonio, and so our thoughts and prayers go out to them, and everybody, go check out WFA for more stuff on that. But wild, absolutely insane, gutting, brutal, and we're here to talk about sports. That is a distraction from things like that sometimes.
True, very true.
Today's episode, we're going to get into, we'll talk about a gap year for the Dallas Mavericks. Kyrie Irving had a quote recently on his Twitch stream about his injury and all that, and he had a couple of interesting things in there. Some of it, to me, not a non-story, but a lot of people were up in arms about it. Then I also want to talk about Bradley Beal, because apparently he's getting a buyout, like a stretch and wave now too. Should the Mavs have interest in him? And so we'll talk all about that and get into that. Let's start here, Slightly Biased. So Kyrie Irving has the quote, and he says, he basically just comes on and is doing his Twitch stream. He's been doing this for a while. It's just like a stream where he comes on and talks, and there's not really a format really. He's just kind of like what you do, Slightly. He just goes on and speaks. And this is what he said about coming back potentially next year.
Will you be back by playoffs? Don't hold your breath on that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that I won't be back. It's just I don't want to make any predictions on when I'm going to be back. I just want to be back 150,000% better. So I'm taking my time right now to really get healthy. I'm taking my time to really get my body right, other portions of my body right, and really just enjoy this recovery process, man. It's not pretty. Yes, it is a beautiful struggle, but I go through kind of the mental roller coaster ride of every day. Just want to be back out there.
Slightly, my first question is, what does 150,000% of Kyrie better look like?
Oh man, we're winning the championship with that. No, I relate to him. I relate. The recovery process, it's grueling mentally.
Yeah, you had surgery on your ankle. You still have the cast?
Still have the cast for three more weeks.
3 more weeks. And so exactly what he's going through, right? This is not the pickup scenario. This is
I get what he's saying. It's mentally taxing.
And so to me, I saw a lot of people look at this and be like, oh, he's not coming back. Oh, it's done. Oh, the Mavs are cooked. Oh, and it went to the extreme. And to me, I look at it and say, all right, this is just him tempering expectations. Jeff Stotts, our friend in Street Clothes on Twitter, said that the average return from an ACL is 11 months. Okay, well, if he goes 11 months, he comes back around February. Okay, but if he goes back a little bit later than that, it's March. Then it's April. Then we don't know where the Mavericks are by that point in the season, what they're fighting for, if they're fighting for anything, and all that. And so I just think that this is Kyrie tempering some expectations, and I loved the fact that they're not trying to rush him back, or at least the fact that Kyrie is not going to be rushed back. We literally saw that last year with Anthony Davis and with Derek Lively. They both got rushed back, whether it was by their own accord or the Mavericks just like not standing in their way and like not pushing back on them at all and letting them come back. And then Anthony Davis gets hurt again, and Lively has some issues too, and some deals with some things. And I like the fact that they're not rushing him back, because I think that would be the worst case scenario for the Mavs to rush him back, for him to get hurt again, and then it delays this whatever this era is going to be again.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understood, this was an older stream, even that this wasn't even recent.
Yeah, it wasn't like yesterday. Yeah,
I think even like a month ago is what I saw. Mavs Digest, Marcel Martin say. I don't know if that's true or not, but this is one of the biggest non-stories I can remember. I have to like put myself in this mindset now. Everything that happens with the Mavs, especially if it could be twisted into some negative slant,
we're gonna do that. No, you weren't talking about us. Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying it's gonna have to be something we talk about, because it's going to be stuff that everybody talks about. It's like, to me, this was Kyrie basically saying like, hey, I don't know, like it's way too far out. We're talking about a return, 7 months? Like, we're talking like best case scenario is 7 months from today. Like, there's no way that he could even put himself in the mind where it's like, oh yeah, 7 months from today, yeah, I'll be ready. Like, I'll be 100% ready to go. I promise you guys that. And we're talking about playoffs, which are even like, closer to a year away than less than a year away, than like 6 months away. So I don't know. This is nothing to me really. I mean, I can't, since when he tore his ACL during the season, I'd predict that we see Kyrie again next year. But yeah, it does sound like he's taking his recovery is number one. And I'm sure that's, again, if this stream was really a month ago, it wasn't like the Mavericks signed him to the contract thinking you'll be back in January no matter what, or else we're not signing you to this contract. So yeah, I don't know. This is next to nothing for me. If you were mentally preparing for Kyrie to come back around Christmas, is there stuff I've seen people said, you were always, wishing upon a star. Like, that was almost never going to happen. So, I don't know. This to me is just, I took it more as like, I don't know. I'm taking recovery seriously, and then I don't know. Like, when I come back, I come back.
He started with don't hold your breath on that. It's like, okay, he just didn't want everybody to be like, okay, well, if he doesn't come back in February or March, then, but the question that he was posed in that chat was, will you come back for the playoffs? Playoffs are April, May, even that. But I agree with you. It's just tempering expectation. He's not going to do the Adrian Peterson thing, where Adrian Peterson was running back for the Vikings and returned in 8 months from an ACL. So it was like he tore his ACL and then he came back to start the year next year. It was like wild.
Yeah, well, football is easier than basketball, so that's why. But I always say that and people get really upset. I do believe it.
In this state? They get mad at you in this state of Texas?
Yeah. No, but I'll defend him as somebody who streams a lot. It was like an interview sit-down question where he had the PR team tell him he's talking to a chat, or there's people in the chat trolling him. There's people saying ungodly things in the chat. You're reading it. Like, I don't know. This wasn't like some PR, like, let's get the PR team together and put out a press release type of thing.
But he took some time and he answered it, and I think that his answers are usually thought through.
But it's just funny to me, if this was a month ago, like somebody was like, let's just wait until, I don't even know who surfaced this clip,
or somebody was just watching back old Kyrie streams, because I think you can find the streams on Twitch.
Maybe someone was like, yeah, like, let's just wait. Once free agency dies down, we got a story that we can.
Do you think like NBA Central just has a backlog of like clips and things that they need
from Twitch, from like Michael Porter Jr. podcast?
Yeah, like, here's some evergreen stuff when things really slow down.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what just makes stuff up.
So, but it could be a gap year for the Dallas Mavericks, and we've kind of known that. And I think this quote doesn't change anything about that, and it could be. So let's talk about that. But I also want to get into something that Kyrie said in this quote that I think is interesting, that I don't know what to think about yet. We'll get into that and more. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook has all kinds of props and odds, things that you can use to get in on the action. FanDuel, I don't think Kyrie Irving has MVP odds. I don't think he would. Anthony Davis does, plus 7,500 to win the MVP. Same as Steph Curry. That is interesting. I mean, they'd have the same odds. Jokic plus 200, SGA plus 280. Those are the leaders right now. Luka plus 750. That's number 3. Giannis, Victor Wembanyama are plus 1,200, plus 1,300 respectively. That's like the next group. Anthony Edwards with them. Then there's a huge gap. Jalen Brunson plus 3,000. The only other people that are ahead of Anthony Davis, Cade Cunningham, Donovan Mitchell, Paolo Banchero, Kevin Durant. So he's up there. So if you feel strongly about that, or if you feel strong about anything, our Dallas Wings playing the Mercury and Satu Sabli ducking the smoke. You can go bet on that. If you put down $5 on that and you win, if it's your first $5, you can win $150 in bonus bets. That bet wins. So go check it out. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Please gamble responsibly.
Shut it down! Oh,
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad. That's what we call our listeners, listening each and every day. We appreciate you for checking out the show. 214-643-8637. Text us, ask us questions, and we'll send you every single alert that you need for the Dallas Mavericks. We'll send it to you. I sent this quote earlier today. I sent my thoughts on it right away and all kinds of other stuff. The Mavs also officially signed Kyrie Irving to that deal today, and so I sent that as well. And so get those texts, links in the description in order to get that as well. So Kyrie Irving has this quote. Whether he said it yesterday or a month ago, it doesn't really change anything about it. He had a thing in that quote that I don't really know what to think of, but I think it's something interesting, and it just kind of perked my ears up a little bit. He said, "I'm taking my time to get my body right, other portions of my body right, and just enjoy this recovery process." He has had some little like bumps and bruises, injury things recently, where like, January of 2025, he had the bulging disc where he missed 6 games, and that his back injury, and that was something. Then July of 2024, he missed 6 games with a broken left hand, and then December of 2023, he missed like 12 games with a heel contusion. So he's had these little things that have just been kind of like adding up here and there, and then now he has his ACL recovery, and I do hope that it helps him get right some of those things if he was just kind of pushing through them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to miss, nearly a calendar year recovering from a knee injury, you might as well make sure all your other ailments are sorted as well. So it could be one of those things where I don't want to say ends up being good in the long run for him, because that's kind of crazy. But, we were talking about that back injury, like that could have been season ending whenever it was first sort of circulating. So yeah, hopefully, again, like I understand at his age and stuff like that, like, this is a career altering injury, and you just want to make sure you're back 110%. And that doesn't mean, hey, my knee's 100%, but my back just never got right, and now I'm dealing with this back problem still coming back. If that's the case, then yeah, maybe just sitting out the entire year makes sense for him. I wouldn't bet on that still, just because, the timetable of these injuries with modern medicine and stuff tells us that he'll probably be ready to go at some point next season. But, yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. I mean, I'm sure his back was still bothering him when he hurt his knee.
Right. And that all kind of just like, it's all... the knee bones connect, the backbone's connect. If you're still setting fireworks out Sunday night, the 6th of July, I have a bone to pick with you.
This is how you know I'm getting older. I'm just like, I hate fireworks now. They don't do anything for me.
If you heard my dog bark just now, he just cannot stand the fireworks, and I'm with you.
Wait, we have a Shams notification?
Ryan Rollins.
Oh my God. He has 4 notifications about Ryan Rollins.
I had to look up to see.
This is actually unbelievable.
I had to look up to see what was it. Talk about like saving tweets so that you have something to tweet when nothing's that going on.
I love the stats that he'll just pull out of nowhere. It's the greatest.
We got to do there's got to be one where he can't think of anything and it's like distance covered during a game, or like speed running.
On my stream, we did with the Jock Landale and Jay Huff one. We did one where I found stats was like Jay Huff was the only player to per 36 hit this many threes and block this many shots. Jock Landale was the only guy to have that many offensive rebounds and that 3-point percentage. You could get there.
Jay Huff or Jock Landale if you're like really invested in that trade, there's something wrong with you.
I just love the idea of having to go on Basketball Reference and they're just like dig for some stats about Jock Landale.
Well, he probably asked some intern, like or like their stats department.
The agency definitely sends them.
Oh, true, yeah, true. So
imagine someone doing it.
The agent had an intern that looked at the stats, had them on hand. I mean, we've known an agent to send us stats, right? We've had one very specific agent that would send us stats all the time, and he would do those things, but he sent it to himself. He would do that.
He would.
All-star push. He would do that 3 games into the season.
Yep.
But he was leading the league in something. Okay. We move on. Yeah, I thought to your point, I think it's an unintended positive from this, is that hopefully he can get some of those other things right. The hand, the heel, the back, those kind of things that hopefully he can work on getting those right as well. What do you think about the concept of this being a gap year for the Dallas Mavericks? Because if Kyrie doesn't come back, or if he comes back late in March, even April, where it's like, all right, he's getting ready for the playoffs, we don't really know what this team actually is. That concept to me, I kind of look at this as some gap years with Cooper Flagg anyway. It's like, all right, let's see what Cooper Flagg is. Maybe they'll be a little competitive, but it's not like it's title or bust. Like if that's what a gap year is for the Mavericks, like a season where they're not going for the title? I don't know. They've been in gap years for a little while now.
Yeah, I mean, the concept of a gap year to me when Anthony Davis is 32 and Kyrie is going to be 32. I mean, nothing you can do there with his injury is just kind of, kind of crazy to me. But they're not going to look at it that way. And I've said this before on here, but ever since the Mavs won the lottery and drafted Flagg, that's the focal point for me. Like that's really if the Mavs win 34 games next year, but we walk away saying, "My God, Flagg looked, like one of the best rookies we've seen in a long time." Okay, then I don't care. Like that, I'm 100% okay with the season. Honest to God.
Plus 50,000 to win the MVP. By the way, Cooper Flagg.
Wow, they have odds for that.
plus 50,000 is like
that's
you have no shot, but we're gonna put the name on there. Like there's like 30 players on there. Like Bam Adebayo, Amen Thompson.
I'm fairly certain that's the most. That's like the highest odds.
No,
really,
it was
There's
Cooper Flagg to get. It's the most that you can do for MVP. But Cooper Flagg to be drafted was minus 100,000. I remember because I kept saying it.
Different. Minus is different. Minus is different because when they do plus 50,000, they know there's a 0% chance, so they're cool doing it.
Paul George, James Harden, Desmond Bane, Jamal Murray.
Wait, Desmond Bane has the same MVP odds as James Harden?
Yeah, they're all plus 50,000.
Well, what in theory though, wouldn't James Harden be a higher just because he is like a lead point guard ball handler on a good team?
You would think so. Siakam plus 50,000. De'Aaron Fox, Jimmy Butler, Scotty Barnes.
Okay,
all the same. With it, that's the headline. Say Cooper Flagg, same odds to win the MVP as James Harden.
James Harden and De'Aaron Fox and Jimmy Butler.
That's a good one. But a gap year, it doesn't make any sense to me. We know what this season is. They're going to try to compete. They're going to try to do well. And this is, they'll figure out how good Cooper Flagg is and how good like the ancillary shooting around him was how good how far they're going to go. And then whatever Kyrie can bring back.
Yeah. I mean, I expect Kyrie to play this upcoming season. I just think that's something he's going to say, which you hear athletes say a lot of times, just like, yeah, I want to be back, like, 100%. I don't want to rush anything. So I think he'll be back. The yapper is back on the screen. The biggest. We're
having a hard time over here. Not gonna lie.
Poor guy. Feel bad for him, man. The PTSD.
He's only 20 pounds.
The
world is scary when you're
the
world is scary when you're only 20 pounds.
But no, I mean the gap year concept. They'll still be competitive even without Kyrie. Obviously, their ceiling is not championship level without him. I mean, that goes without being said.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm just really interested to see what the trade deadline will look like for this team. Like if they start to hear, Kyrie's camp's just like, hey, this recovery, we're taking our time. We don't know if we'll be back this year. And the Mavs are like 6 games, or maybe not 6, but like 3 games below 500.
Yeah.
The trade deadline. Is that when you just say, all right, like
let's do it.
But don't report this, but we're listening to some Anthony Davis stuff.
Oh.
Well, I'm just wondering, is that something that would happen? If they're like, we're not going to win this year and Kyrie's not coming back, do we maybe listen? If you're going to gap, you're out.
I can't ever say about this team ever again. It's not possible. Ever. I can never a thing that we can say anymore. But depending on how good they look. If they think they're a Kyrie away from competing next year, then they won't. Then they'll just stand pat and maybe add around the edges. I think there's more of a chance that they're 3 games back from something and go, all right, we've got to make this push right now. Let's make a trade that maybe is a little short-sighted to go for something right now.
Well, I was thinking if it was like speaking about the Kyrie stuff, if it was, Kyrie's not coming back. Like we heard from his camp that they don't think he'll be coming back at all this year. Is it even worth us making a push? Or if we hear, hey, we're 3 games under 500 and things are going well and Kyrie's going to be back in like 3 weeks. That's when it's maybe like, let's make a push and hopefully when he's back, we're, in a better spot.
Interesting. I get 100% that we're going to get bringing Kyrie Irving into this team is like adding somebody at the trade deadline. We're getting that.
Get ready for that one.
We're getting that quote for sure. It's gonna go. Or if he doesn't come back this year, then it's next year. Like, this offseason, it's like we've added Kyrie Irving to this team last year.
Yeah, we're adding a top 20, top 30 player.
Coming up. Should the Mavs add a former top 30 player? He's definitely not anymore, but Bradley Beal.
Might not have ever been. I'm going to be real. I've never been.
He led the league in scoring.
That's fine.
30 points a game.
That's fine.
Should the Mavs add Brad Beal? He's going to get waived by the Suns. We'll talk about that in more. Come on. Still not having a good time. the fireworks have ceased, I think. I hope, though. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs. We're here chilling, talking about Kyrie Irving, maybe a gap year for the Dallas Mavericks. It's definitely some kind of gap for the Suns. There's a gap between them and the rest of the West right now. They just don't make a lot of sense. It looks like
a wage gap too.
It looks like
Booker's contract.
They're gonna have a class war over there. Looks like Bradley Beal is going to get some kind of buyout, where he's going to give some money back, and then waived and stretched. From the numbers that I saw, it looks like they were going to have to pay $19 million for the next 5 years on Bradley Beal's deal. And then that leaves Bradley Beal open. So first of all, should the Mavs be interested in him at all?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Absolutely. I think it's one of those, same thing with the D'Lo, with the Ayton talks, where it's just like, yeah, if this guy's making $50 million on your team, it's a nightmare, right? Even $30 million, it's an absolute nightmare with the no trade clause and all that. But if he's on a minimum, I mean, that's fantastic. So, of course, I'd be interested. I don't think there's any chance in the world he would do it.
He would what? He would take this buyout, or that he would come on the Mavs?
No, that he'd come on the Mavs. I think there are teams that would offer him the mid-level. Because I always look at when the contract buyout happens is like how much money was left. Because I think that's what they're expecting to get. Like if he's leaving $10 million a year, he's expecting to get $10 million.
Right. Yeah. However much he gives back, because they're not just giving back money just to be nice, right? They're like, okay, we can make this money back. So there are teams with that open. Don't the Nuggets still have theirs open? There's a bunch of teams like that.
Well, I think the Nuggets forcing Jonas Valanciunas at gunpoint to play for them basically takes that away. But I do think there are other teams that have definitely more than the Mavericks have at their disposal. Now, it depends if Booker or Beal and his team are like, hey, you can start here. Like, even when Kyrie comes back, you could probably still play. They're going to try to be good. Like, 1 year, maybe rebuild your value a tiny bit and get back out there next year. But I don't know.
Here's the thing about Bradley Beal, too. He did not have a good year last year and all that. Still averaged 17 points a game, shooting 40% from three the last 2 years on the Suns. I mean, not great, but not nothing too.
Minimum. For some team out there will get him on a good value. So that's what the way that you have to look at it. Same thing with Ayton, and the same thing with like the D'Los of the world, where it's like these guys are making a lot of money. It's frustrating. If these guys are making next to nothing, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I think Michael Porter Jr. is going to go down that route this year, where they're like, "Oh my gosh, he's making how much, and he's doing what?" Like,
yeah,
I think he's finally going to get that kind of treatment that we've given some of these guys. I mean, the Mavs need more shooting, but I just don't know how Bradley Beal would get time on this team. There's just too many guys. So to me, I'm like, I just don't know where you fit, and I think you're right that he'd go somewhere else.
It would be incredibly awkward, because it would have to be this like, oh, we didn't know this was a realistic possibility, which I don't know. I think any team around the league would probably look at that and say that's probably happening this offseason. Is Beal getting bought out? So it'd have to be like, oh, hey, D'Lo, we know we said you'd start, but like we're gonna start Beal and you can be six man and then X him. Hey, our bad. Like it's fallen through. Like we're gonna go.
Oh yeah, they just don't bring him back.
Right. Like I don't think that's gonna happen either. Because I'd have to imagine the Mavs knew that. Like teams around the league, I guarantee you knew this was gonna happen at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, just saw the writing on the wall, especially when they had set like 7 shooting guards at one point after the KD trade, right?
Oh yeah, and I mean Gambo, big beautiful Gambo, the Suns guy has. I just call him that because it's hilarious. Because I was watching a podcast clip of him. He just has a framed picture of Donald Trump behind him.
Does he?
Like, yeah, I was like, all right. But
like with him, or just
no. I mean, maybe I missed. Maybe there's like a meeting behind it, but it's literally just a picture of Donald Trump. But anyways, he was saying for months, he was like, Bradley Beal will not be on the Suns in the fall. Like he just will not be. I'm more interested like this waving and stretching. I think this is so bad for the Suns. I mean, I think waving and stretching is
just wait it out.
I know,
just wait it out. It's 2 more seasons.
They're gonna have what, like $15 to $20 million of Bradley Beal on the book for 5 years, man. I don't.
It's $53 million this year. His actual contract, $53 million this year, and then a $57 million player option the season after that. It's like, and he's playing. At least with the Damian Lillard thing, he wasn't gonna play for the whole year.
I think that Damian Lillard thing's a disaster as well. I just think this waving and stretching concept is terrible, and there's a reason why teams try to avoid it like the plague. Really,
you're basically giving yourself a handicap. Like you're basically just saying, "Hey, we are going to have $19 to $20 million less on our books than everybody else."
And with the restrictions today and today's CBA, I just cannot imagine having that. But at least for the Dame one, I could spin it as we have to do something to make Giannis happy, and we don't have our picks. Like, there's no point in us just trading Giannis and tanking and being terrible. Like, let's just it's all gonna burn down soon, anyways. The Suns one is just like, I don't know. Like, you couldn't have just said we're not gonna be good this year, anyways. So whatever.
What are they gaining from this? Because at least with the Bucks, you could say they're getting Miles Turner, and now you're paying $40 million for Miles Turner, essentially, or $50 million for him.
My guess is it's just like so toxic. And it's just
they gain vibes.
Yeah, they gain vibes, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't. The wave and stretch thing is it's just like I've even had this idea where it's like, how do the Mavs get that XM spot? Well, they could wave and stretch somebody on their roster probably if they wanted to go that route. I would imagine, like waving and stretching Dwight Powell or something.
Talk about the price of vibes.
Yeah, seriously. Or
get
like
rid of Dwight
Martin,
Powell.
like cut a few million off his salary and waive it. But I'm just like, I don't even really want to do that, to be honest with you. Like,
so when the CBA changed in like 2012 and 2011, they did the amnesty clause where each team could amnesty one guy, and I feel like we didn't get that in this CBA. We didn't get the Mulligan type move, and now we're seeing teams like, okay, we're gonna use a version of this that hurts us a little longer. What's the company where you can pay for it? You can pay for anything in installments.
Klarna.
NBA is basically looking at their teams and be like, we can't amnesty this because the NBA didn't allow us one under this new CBA. So we're gonna Klarna Damian Lillard's contract. And
Klarna, if you have any rep listening to this, you need to have a deal in place with the Suns the moment Bradley Beal's wave and stretch is done. And it'd be like Ishbia was sharing a screenshot of Klarna payments. It's like, finally paid off my Beal contract.
Finally pay off my Beal.
Well, here's another thing too. With Booker, I mean, Booker's going to be making $75 million.
They're going to Klarna that one too.
Yeah, they're going to Klarna that. But you combine that with this buyout, that's like half of their cap sheet is going to be tied up in Beal and Booker, and then Beal's not even going to be there.
One of those players doesn't play.
So, like, the Suns are just a catastrophe. They really are. Matt Ishbia is horrible. I think he's awful. It's funny because you got Booker at 75. Is that not crazy?
That's too much. That's way too much.
That's what I'm saying. Is you just give him that without even thinking about it?
No, not at. I would think about it, and I mean,
I would not think about it. I wouldn't do it.
Honestly, this is the same thing that the Wizards did with Bradley Beal. They're like, we got nobody else. You're our guy, leading the league in scoring at the time, and we're like, okay, we just got to keep giving you the money. Then they gave him they kept giving him everything. They gave him a no trade clause.
It's like, we had no other option. It's like, really? You didn't? There was nothing?
In 2028, when his deal is done, he's an unrestricted free agent. $72 million is his cap hold. $72 million would be 37.7% of the salary cap.
Well, he's that's a player option, right?
No, he's unrestricted in that year, and that's whatever his cap hold would be. 72.
I'm saying is the year like that year? Is it that a player option?
No, he'd be unrestricted.
Whew, man,
he's already got two years left. I mean, he's got this upcoming year and then 2 more years. So you're talking, and also it's like 29, 30, 31. He'd be 32, 33 when he's getting 75 million.
I mean,
75, 76 is like 38%, almost 40% of the cap. Like
it goes up, and it's I think it'll be 35% or whatever the Supermax will be because it goes up with the max thing. I wonder if there's.
But is Booker even a Supermax player?
No, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Is I'm not, like that's just such an obscene amount. And I get like the sticker shock thing is that these numbers will be going up, and it will be still the same percentage salary cap wise. I get all of that, but it's just, my Lord, like there's not another option for you. Like you have to give that right now. That's why he has 2 years left. You have to make that decision right this second. You can't just be like, yeah, we'll make sure it happens, but we're not going to commit to it right now.
2030, SGA is making $79 million. That's 37%.
Well, see, he's a top 3 player in the sport.
And you're like, okay, that one makes sense. I'll pay that max. I'll pay the 37% of the cap for him. I wouldn't for Booker. I mean,
I'm telling you, I think I've said it on here before. If Book has a similar season this year than he did last year, and obviously Katie's gone and Beal will be gone, but if it's similar production wise and everything, that's scary. That is scary because I think he's the last 2 years have scared me a little bit with him because I know his age is still good, but he's been playing for a long time.
he came in really young, wasn't he? He was like
Came in
18.
really
He was like
young.
18 his rookie year.
Right? Yeah. So, his 28 might be other guys' 30s. I mean, I don't know.
Let's hope that doesn't translate to other 18-year-olds that are coming into the NBA. We're talking
hope
about,
not.
in 10 years, you and I are talking about this.
It's like, man, those dips are a little scary.
In 10 years, we're a hologram on that. Ever seen the tabletop thing? Like this is the
Yeah.
next thing in basketball. We'll have by then in 10 years we'll have those for podcasting too. Just be me and you on a table walking back and forth talking.
One of my least favorite gimmicks I've seen recently is like the animation. Like they'll do a replay and it'll just be like the animated figures doing the play. You know what I'm talking about?
Or like how they did like Mickey Mouse and Goofy and Donald Duck.
No, that's like a funny little gimmick for the kids. But baseball's really guilty of this. Would be like, here's the home run swing. It'll be like an animated figure.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
why not just show me the actual swing? What is the animated figure?
unless you're
showing
showing me some kind of diagram for an injury or like
me? Yeah.
you're trying to show how the muscles work through it. Like I don't know. There's really no reason to. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I just don't understand. It's like one of those gimmicks for the sake of a gimmick. I don't get it.
Oh man. There you go. Let us know what you think about Bradley Beal. Let us know what you think about Kyrie and the gap year for the Mavericks potentially. We'll get into some more stuff tomorrow. I'm bringing all things Mavs on tomorrow. Jimmy coming on to talk about how Mavs fandom has changed. So we'll get into that tomorrow. Slightly coming back the day after that. Double Slightly this week. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs. Peace out. Boom.
Double the slightly, double the fun.